Hello, and welcome to the Live-in Caregiver information video. The Live-in Caregiver program allows a foreign national to work in Canada as a caregiver to children, elderly, or disabled people while living in the employer's home. In this video, we will explain the requirements to qualify as a caregiver, if your application is approved, and finally, becoming a permanent resident. What are the qualifications needed for this program? In order to qualify for the Live-in Caregiver program, an applicant must meet certain requirements established by the Canadian government. As part of the program, any live-in caregiver can eventually become a permanent resident of Canada, and then a Canadian citizen. You may not include your family members at this point in the application. You may sponsor your family to come to Canada after you gain permanent resident status. To qualify as a live-in caregiver, you must meet the following criteria. First, you must have the Canadian equivalent of a high school diploma. Second, you must have completed at least 1 year of paid employment in a related field to caregiving within the past 3 years from the time you submit your application, including having worked for the same employer for the previous 6 months, or 6 months full-time training in fields related to caregiving, such as early childhood education or nursing. Third, you must demonstrate your ability to speak English or French. Your level of proficiency should allow you to perform in emergency situations like calling a doctor or ambulance, and in basic daily functions. Fourth, you must have a contract signed with your employer and have it approved by the HRSDC. Fifth, you must have a work permit to enter Canada. For more information on this process, please watch the work permit video. One of the requirements for obtaining a work permit is that you qualify as admissible to Canada. You will be required to undergo a security background check and a medical exam. What happens if my application is approved? If your application is approved, you will be issued a temporary work permit to work in Canada. This permit will be valid for 1 year, with a chance to renew it when it expires. The work permit is only valid for one employer. If you change employers, you will need to have a new work permit issued. And if you are issued a work permit as a live-in caregiver, you are guaranteed that the job offer is real and has been verified by the Canadian government. You are also guaranteed that your employer has the means to provide you an income and will provide you with access to a private room. How can I become a permanent resident once I am in Canada? A live-in caregiver can become a permanent resident after you have worked in Canada for 2 years. This must occur within 3 years after having a live-in caregiver work permit issued. You can submit your application for permanent residence from within Canada, and at this stage, you can include your immediate family members to become permanent residents as well. This includes your spouse or common law partner and any dependent children. If you include any family members, all your family members must undergo a background check and a medical exam. If one of your family members is deemed inadmissible into the country, all of you will be deemed inadmissible. If you do not include medical or criminal exams for a particular family member at the same time, they will be excluded from your family class sponsorship. This means they cannot be sponsored at a later date. We hope this video will help you towards becoming a live-in caregiver in Canada. We wish you the best of luck.